This Jeep has a customer in a terrible situation. It's going to cost thousands to fix, and it's a Jeep. It's to be expected. Let's find out why. Let's get started. For a long time, Jeeps were the go-to vehicle for sport utility and also for a grocery getter or whatever that was fairly reliable. Back in the days of the XJ, the YJ, they had the inline six, they were bulletproof, 300,000 or 400,000 miles, no trouble at all. But you have noticed in most videos, I have never recommended to buy any Jeep, especially 2010 and newer. They really are not known for being super reliable. The situation on this one, the customer had it taken to a shop in Wichita and they got a really bad diagnosis. We're going to talk about it here in a minute, but they brought it here to Omega to verify, is that true? I'm going to show you today how on most videos I've done, we find something else that's wrong, completely different than what the other shop thought. But this one actually lines up this time. Let's take a look around this Jeep. This is the front of the 2019 Jeep Limited X with just at 100,000 miles on it. It's black on black, and it does have a nice appearance. It looks really nice. It has some dark gray wheels. This does have some nice 20-inch wheels, and the paint is black, but it's a metallic paint. It looks really, really nice. You can see little flakes in it if you look closely. You can see it is a 4x4 Limited X model, and on the other side it looks just as nice. It's actually a very nice vehicle. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. Owning a car is expensive. Just think of how much you spend on gas, insurance, and maintenance. It feels like the prices are going up and up and up. What if I told you you could be investing money while still paying those bills? Today we've partnered with Gemini to showcase the Bitcoin credit card, the only instant Bitcoin rewards credit card. That's right, this card gives you 4% back on gas and transportation. They also give you 3% back on dining, 2% on groceries, and 1% on everything else. The Bitcoin credit card is an easy way to get into the Bitcoin market. You've heard about buying Bitcoin, but it seems complicated and you really don't know the first place to start. With the Gemini credit card, you just swipe at the places you already buy from and you're on your way to getting Bitcoin rewards. No more points that expire or airline miles that have crazy blackout dates. Bitcoin rewards earned and held for 1 year on the Gemini credit card have appreciated 176% on average. You're investing as you spend. Truly a no-brainer. To sign up for the Gemini credit card, head to gemini.com/carwizard and get $200 in Bitcoin when you spend $3,000 in your first 90 days. Plus, you can see if you're eligible with no impact to your credit score. Just click the link in the description below or go to gemini.com/carwizard to apply and start earning instantly. We all have bills to pay. Wouldn't it be nice to be investing instead of just spending? Now back to this Jeep. So no, this doesn't have a 4.7 or a Hemi or anything like that. This one has the 3.6 Pentastar V6. And people have asked me in the past, are they a good engine? And I've always thought they were decent. Never bad, but not great either. Kind of in the middle of the road, kind of a gamble. But after we found out what's wrong with this one, and I looked some of the data on Identifix, our database that we use for things that are wrong with cars, I was shocked. I'm actually going to sway towards probably not recommending these engines at all anymore. They took it to a shop in Wichita and they told them, you need a new engine. That's the way it was brought here, and they want to find out if that's true. Does it really need a new engine? We're going to answer those questions here in a minute. So here we are with the engine. It looks like it could be a very big engine, but if you look in front of it between the distance of the main pulley and the fan, there is tons of room to work on it. Very, very easy to get to the front of the engine, which will probably help with the repairs this engine is going to need. So let's play the game. What can you guys guess could be wrong with this vehicle that makes it need supposedly a new engine? Is it low oil pressure, number 1? Or is it number 2, blown head gaskets? Or is it number 3, low compression on the cylinders? Let you guys guess in the comment section and let us know what you think is wrong with this Jeep. It currently overheats when you try to drive it. It has some symptoms of possibly a blown head gasket. We don't like to just think it does. We like to know it does. But one of the first symptoms I like to look for is inside the coolant reservoir. Let's see what we see on this vehicle in the reservoir. Oh my goodness, guys.
Ew.
That does not look good.
No, don't touch it. Ew.
It's like slime. It's like Slimer's been in there for Ghostbusters, except it's gray, not green.
Oh, don't taste it. Oh.
No, I'm not tasting that sludge, but I'm going to smell it. It smells really bad. It smells terrible. Ugh. So we definitely have some symptoms of a possible blown head gasket going on here. Let's get this thing on the lift and take a look underneath. Then we'll get Danielson out here to show you the steps we went through to guarantee that is what's wrong with this vehicle. Let's take a look underneath. So besides what we got going on with a possible engine replacement being needed, we need to also check the rest of the vehicle to see if it needs anything else, because you just never know. So we do see some leak going on here. That's very likely from its overheating issue. It's kind of gushing out antifreeze, so that makes sense with that. Check our brakes. And they're about 40% remaining. Sway bar links are good. I don't see any blown struts on this side. CV boots are good, and the steering rack boot is good. On this side, brakes are equally same, 40% remaining. Strut is good, CV boots are good, and steering rack boot is good. So here's our tiny little lower oil pan. This is stamped steel here, and it is wet. It does have maybe a little bit of leak going on there, but we need to decide what we're doing with this pesky engine situation before we even worry about that. Here we come back to our transmission. Again, there's a little bit of seepage going on, but nothing dripping heavily, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. And then here's our transfer case. It appears to be doing fine. There's nothing leaking from it at all. Our actuator looks to be in good shape, not damaged. Our drive shaft here, the joint seems to be fine. Our front drive shaft is in good shape. Rear drive shaft is in good shape. It does have a carrier bearing and it's in good shape as well. Our rear differential is not leaking. Our CV boots are not cracked or spraying grease everywhere. Brake pads are about 50% in the back, and the shock is not blown. Same on this side, brakes are good, CV boots are good, shock is not blown, sway bar link is not loose. It also appears this vehicle has dual exhaust all the way out. As you follow along if you're watching, it stays pretty much dual except for a resonator chamber in the middle all the way out the back, so that's really kind of cool. They're not cheating in that way. Really don't see a whole lot wrong underneath. Let's get this thing on the ground and get it back off the lift. So out of the things I asked you guys to guess, the low oil pressure is not an issue, the oil light is not on, and we did check with Scan Tool, it has good strong oil pressure. That's not the case, that's not the issue for needing a new engine. And the last one being that low compression on the engine, it cranks evenly, it runs just fine, except for the overheating. There's no reason to dive into that. It doesn't have low compression. So let's check out this head gasket. Let's verify that is truly what's wrong or what's going on here. We did show you the gunk that's inside of the reservoir, but there's more to it. Danielson has this combustion gas test kit. If there's any combustion gas is getting past the head gasket and into the cooling system, this blue fluid will turn green, like green antifreeze. I'm going to take the lid off and fill it up to this graduated line right there with the blue fluid. It's blue like a Smurf. Now on a healthy engine, this should stay Smurf blue all the time. Let's see what happens to this fluid. Look at that, guys. It's turning antifreeze green right before your eyes. It gets a little bit greener than that as well. Wow, that's almost yellow. It's so bad. That's really, really bad. Look at that, guys. It went from Smurf blue to Mountain Dew. It didn't even take very long. It usually takes a little longer than that, but this one's bad, huh?
Yeah, I was actually using my mouth to create a little bit of vacuum, and now all I can taste is fuel in my mouth.
Taking hits from the bong.
Yeah.
Anyways, we now know 100% it has blown head gaskets. So on modern cars, it's not so simple. It's just, I mean, you think of Grandpa's old Chevy truck, you pull the heads off, it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal on these.
Well, you can see how many other things other than the engine are in there, you know what I mean? All these extra electronic components and sensors and all that stuff. It's definitely not Grandpa's old Chevy.
And then you have the timing chains and the front timing cover and timing tensioners and all that stuff that has to come off as well, just to get the heads off. Kind of a big job. All right, actually looks like a urine test, guys. That's kind of strange. This one failed the urine test. This Jeep failed the urine test big time. Make sure to check out Danielson's channel. There's a link in the description below. You got all kind of cool projects going on there, huh?
Yeah, right now I'm working on that behind Mrs. Wizard. Hopefully I should be putting that back together here real soon. I have everything right now, although the last few parts came in, so.
So definitely go head over to Danielson's channel and the link in the description below, like I mentioned. You definitely want to check out on what he's got going on over there. It's really cool. I'll let you head back to break. It's nasty and hot out here.
A little bit.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again. Over the years, I've had vehicles come in with blown head gaskets and they've put bars leak or all kinds of gunk in there, and it smells bad. It smells like if someone's chews chewing tobacco or Skoal or something and they spit it into a Mountain Dew bottle, you know. It smells like that. It smells so bad. I don't get that smell here. Nobody's added any kind of additives to this one, but it is still very gunky. And the reason why, and let me pull some out and I'll show you what it looks like again. What that is combustion gas is kind of burbling and gurgling through the coolant and modifying and contaminating the coolant. It basically ruins the antifreeze.
So Wizard, does it mean that the coolant system also has to get flushed after we do all this repairs?
Right. Whenever we pull the cylinder heads off or if we replace the engine, which we'll talk about here in a minute, you have to go through and flush the radiator, probably put new hoses. There's a lot of places that can be contaminated. It needs all this flushed out. You don't want to put a new set of heads or a new engine or whatever route you choose and still have this gunk floating around in the system. That one threw me for a loop. It actually surprised me very much. I've never seen a head gasket turn the solution that green that fast. This one's really, really bad. I also am surprised that this engine has this issue. Again, we don't specialize in Jeeps and work on tons of Jeeps all the time, every day. So, of the percentage of 3.6 Pentastars that are out there, of the few that we've worked on, we haven't seen this problem. But now that this one has come into the shop with this problem, I typed it into Identifix, and I was shocked. It really is a huge problem with these engines, especially these 2019 and newer ones. Bad, 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 bad. Let me show you what we pulled up. Head gaskets, head gaskets. You guys can read it. It just keeps going. Head gaskets, head gaskets. So turn the page. Cylinder head gaskets. 20 or 30 of them right here. Let's turn the page again. Just wait. There's more. This one was some thermostats for some other issues, but look again. Head gaskets, head gaskets. And then there's another half page. More head gaskets. Most of these are on the Jeeps. If you read all this list I just showed you, it shows Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredos, Limiteds, all kinds of different versions of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, specifically the Jeep Grand Cherokee, 2013s, 2015s, 2011s, 2019s. I do see a Dodge Durango that has this issue as well. Chrysler Pacificas. There's several other vehicles that have this engine out there. So, with that being said, if you're looking for a newer Chrysler vehicle and it has the 3.6 Pentastar, where in the past I might have said it's kind of a gamble, it's kind of, maybe you want to make sure it's in good shape before you buy it, but it might be okay. I'm going to change that stance now based on what I've seen here and what we're seeing here. I'm going to say do not purchase a 3.6 Pentastar. This is bad. This is terrible. If you have one of these vehicles that's currently running fine, no issues, make sure to get coolant flushes. Keep the coolant up to date and keep everything going that way, because that can definitely help with any kind of deterioration. But if this is some sort of a factory flaw or something going on of that nature, there's really not much you can do about it, unfortunately. Now let's talk money and options. This customer is going to be really sad when I tell them the shop in Wichita told them they needed a new engine. And that's pretty much, a lot of shops are going to that anymore. When you have to tear into an engine pretty deeply, it's almost just as much money just to take the whole thing out and yeet it out and put another reman engine in. I know people in the comments all the time say, that's insane, that's crazy, just fix the one that's in here. But you got to remember, just like we talked about with Danielson, Taking the heads off of these is not a walk in the park. Also, we're going to remove your timing chains, your timing guides, your timing tensioners, and we will not be putting the old ones back on. We refuse. Because you know, as sure as the day is long, we do this job, you leave, and we put your old timing components back on. In 6 months, something goes wrong. The question is going to be, why didn't we address this when we had it all apart? Well, we are. We're going to. So you get head gaskets, head bolts, gaskets, front main seal, serpentine belts, coolant, oil, flushes, timing components, chains, guides, all that stuff. $4,000 to $6,000 to do a head gasket job on this. And we're also going to have to take the heads to a machine shop to verify they're perfectly flat, that when it was overheated, it didn't warp the hell out of the heads. If that's so, they'll need to be resurfaced or possibly replaced, depending on how bad that is. So that's why we have the range $4,000 to $6,000, depending on what we find when we get it apart. This is what's crazy. For $7,000 to $8,000, we can go through Powertrain Products, who is our trusted supplier, and replace the whole engine. All of it. For just a little bit more. So that makes sense why the other shop said it's time for a new engine. They do not want to fool with taking this one apart. Here's what complicates the whole thing, is this car only has 100,000 miles on it. You think today's cars can go 200,000 and 300,000 and 400,000 miles, and some of them can, especially some of the brands I've recommended in the past. But this one's gone 100, and it's time for a new engine. Now, the rest of the engine's fine, but like I just mentioned, we weigh the prices, you start weighing things, and I'm starting to see this a lot on a lot of newer cars. They're so complex with the engine that it's as much money to fix the engine than it is not much more to just replace it. So it pays 19 and a half hours just to do the head gaskets on this. That's pulling the whole front of the motor apart, timing chains and all that. 19 hours. It pays 21 to replace the whole ass engine, all of it. It's like a few hours more. There is more cost for a new engine, but you get all the things new. Your pistons, your crankshaft, your cams, the block, everything is remanned. It's into new specification, new condition. All of it. For just a little bit more money. Why are we wasting money fixing the old one? It's not that much cheaper, really. So this is a fairly new vehicle, like 100,000 miles. What would you guys do? You'd let me know in the comments. You got these two options. No, we're not putting a used engine in, because after I seen what Identifix has showed us, you might be in the same boat all over again in 6 months. No, used engines are not an option. So what would you do? Fix it for 4 to 6 or 7 to 8, a whole brand new engine, and be good for a long time? Or would you junk it? Just get rid of it? New cars cost a lot of money today. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this situation. It's going to be disheartening to call this customer and let them know, yes, that other shop in Wichita was absolutely correct. It's probably the best bet is to go for a new engine. I would recommend a new engine. Same amount of time almost involved. Very little savings to try and just fix it. This is a really hard one, guys. I hate giving people this news. If they choose to junk it again, I'm not going to charge them anything. I don't ever charge anyone when it's disastrous news like this. This is bad. But definitely wanted to get a video out there for you guys to show you, in some cases on newer cars today, a new engine is almost the same as fixing the old one. It's crazy. So make sure to head on over to Danielson's channel and check out the build he's got going on his Audi TT. A lot of really good content on that channel. It's really amazing videos. I really like watching his channel. If you're curious what kind of tools we might get to use to fix this Jeep or any other car in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. A lot of the tools we use in the shop are for sale there, and if you purchase any of them, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because our schedule is full this week, which means tons of videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.